What's up, guys, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Dylan Zachary, and I'm a freelance graphic designer. Today we're doing something a little bit different, not really explaining designs today, but we're going to be ranking Bob Dylan's top 5 albums in my personal opinion. Let's get into it, shall we? So, first one up right here, we got Bob Dylan's Nashville Skyline. Bob Dylan's Nashville Skyline came out in 1969. It was number 3 on the US charts and number 1 in the UK. It had 3 great songs on that record, in my personal opinion. One being Girl from the North Country, featuring Johnny Cash, which actually was an original from Freewheelin Bob Dylan record, but we'll talk about that. And then we had Lay Lady Lay, one of my personal favorites from the record, Tonight I'll Be Staying Home With You. Nashville Skyline was more into Bob Dylan's country side of things. It's a great record. It still stands up today. You can tell that he loved doing it. He made it around when he was living in Woodstock, New York, around the time when Woodstock happened, a couple miles down the road in Bethel, New York. It's a great record. Still stands the test of time. It is on my list as number 5. Okay, so number 4 on the top 5 records of Bob Dylan. Number 4, we have Blood on the Tracks. Came out in 1975 and went number 1 in the US and went number 4 in the UK. This is a phenomenal record, and after Bob Dylan kind of went on a hiatus there for a little bit, he came out with other records previously on this, but this was Bob Dylan back in his full-fledged Bob Dylan mysterious awesomeness mode. This is a great record. So we have Shelter from the Storm on this one, we have Simple Twist of Fate on this one, and we have Tangled Up in Blue, which is one of my personal favorites from this record. This album is just pure gold for any Bob Dylan fan. This is an instant listen. There's so many tracks on this record. From front to back, it's phenomenal. It's sad to put it in a number 4 spot, but there's so many great Dylan records to listen to. That's number 4, Blood on the Tracks. And now we are at number 3. Sadly, I do not have this on vinyl. I'm pretty sure I did at one point, but I think it was a bad copy, so I ended up tossing it. We're going to put that right here, right now. Bang! The Freewheelin Bob Dylan record. This album was Bob Dylan's first international success record. He went on to be a national superstar after this, and it was a great folk record that everybody loved at the time. He came out of Greenwich Village, took Greenwich Village by storm, playing it like the Cafe Wah, Gaslight and everything, to sell out Carnegie Hall. Then he came out with this album. It literally took the world by storm. So on this album, we have so many good songs, some of being which is Blowing in the Wind, A Hard Rain's Gonna Fall, and Don't Think Twice, It's Alright, which is a huge personal favorite of mine. That song is so timeless, and it still speaks today, just like a lot of his words and all his poetry and writings and everything. I mean, that's why the dude won the Nobel Peace Prize. Can you blame him? Phenomenal. Freewheelin Bob Dylan record, great record. Sadly at number 3, but once again, he has so many records, it's so hard to pick and choose which is the best, you know what I'm saying? Freewheelin Bob Dylan, let's go into the next one. So number 2, top 5 greatest Bob Dylan records in my opinion is Bringing It Back Home. This album was life-changing. This album was when Dylan went electric. He got away from folk music. He still did some folk music, but he kind of just took the world by storm in 1965 when he went to the Newport Folk Festival in Rhode Island and plugged in and went electric. This man, he was so innovative for his time, and everybody said that he shouldn't have went rock and roll. He did it, and this track listing speaks volumes of why he did it and should have did it, and I'm so glad that he did do it because it stood the test of time. So listen to this track listing. I'm going to read this one off. Subterranean Homesick Blues, She Belongs to Me, Maggie's Farm, Love Minus Zero, No Limit, Outlaw Blues, phenomenal song. On the Road Again, Bob Dylan's 115th Dream, Mr. Tambourine Man, which was popularized by the Byrds shortly after this release, Gates of Eden, It's Alright Ma, I'm Only Bleeding, another phenomenal track, It's All Over Now, Baby Blue. This record is a gold standard Bob Dylan record. If you've never heard it, you need to go listen to it right now. Go get it in your local record store, go stream it on Spotify or Apple Music, go spin this record right now for good old Bob. This record is gold. But it's not number 1. As of right now, in my opinion, as of right now, because it still stands the test of time. Just like all these songs, but this one specifically. We got one that can only be in the number 1 spot, and that is Highway 61 Revisited. This album also is absolutely phenomenal of a record. It is great all the way through, but there's a couple songs that stand out the most, and like I said, stand the test of time. You should go spin this record just like Bringing It Back Home. This one takes the cake, number 1, for me at least. So we got Desolation Road, which is still like a folk song, but it's still got that bluesy, poetic, gritty street vibe to it that we all loved from Bob Dylan in the earlier years with his folk music. Queen Jane Approximately, fantastic song. Can't go wrong with that song. It's absolutely perfect. And then we have have the #1 record that stands the test of time, up there with the Bohemian Rhapsodies, with the Stairway to Heavens, to the Comfortably Numb's all-time greatest song ever, is Like a Rolling Stone. When this song came out, everyone hated it. He debuted it at the Newport Folk Festival in 1965 when he went electric. They hated it. They wanted to pull the plug on him. They couldn't stand it. But when it released, it skyrocketed to the top. It actually took a little bit, but it skyrocketed eventually, and it became an anthem of a generation, and tons of artists became who they are because of this song. This album, Highway 61 Revisited, debuted at #3 on the US charts and #4 in the UK charts. It's mainly a full blues album, full blues rock album, besides Desolation Row, like I said, where he touched roots back to his folk days. That's it. That is the greatest selection of albums I could choose from Bob Dylan. There's some other good ones out there, but this one is reigning at #1 for me on my list. I highly recommend going to listen to some other Bob Dylan albums. For some honorable mentions, you got Desire, and you got his self-titled, I actually love, that came out in 1970. His very first record is great too. He was definitely a young kid dipping his toes in the folk scene at the time in New York City and Greenwich Village, and he had a lot to learn, but man, he sure ramped it up and started making some great music shortly thereafter. I think his version of House of the Rising Sun is one of the best. Shortly after that, the Animals popularized that song. Bob Dylan, man, he's a legend. He's great. I had the chance of seeing him 2 times, one time in 2019, and actually this year with Willie Nelson, Robert Plant, Alison Krauss, and Bob Dylan. He's the man. Every time I see him, it puts a big ass smile on my face. Bob Dylan, man, can't go wrong. Gotta love him. So if you like that video, make sure you check out all my other videos. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Make sure you like, subscribe, and let me know if you want more of this. I can rank some more artists. I can go through my whole collection of records I have, talk about them, and let me know what you guys think in the comments. Really curious of what everybody has to say. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know what you guys think, and hope you have a great day. Peace.